Hello my loves, welcome back to the channel. So we're going to be working on this beautiful dress today. So it's a turtleneck and a bustier illusion dress with this exaggerated sleeve. So I'll start by drafting the princess Dart Bustier. Here on this channel I have a very detailed tutorial on how to draft, cut a princess Dart Bustier. So I'll drop the link to that video in the description box. I'm working with this lace fabric that you saw me keep away. It's a very beautiful lace fabric. So I'll just go through the details of this princess Dart Bustier. My neck width is 3 inches and my neck depth is 2.5, right? So I marked from the shoulder to my chest line, shoulder to bust point, shoulder to under bust length, and shoulder to half length. Okay, so on the bust point, I'm going to mark half of the bust span measurement plus half inch. Then on the under bust, I'll take away half inch, and on the half length as well. So at the shoulder area, I marked half of the shoulder measurement, added 2 inches allowance for my princess Dart Bustier, then came down by 5 inches. All right, then curved my dart. So the dart I took is 2 inches because this is bust 38, so I took a dart of 2 inches. Then use my curve ruler to curve it all out like so, and connected it to the extension. Then took my body measurements. Okay, so I'm just going over this. So the bust is 38 divided by 4 is 9.5 plus my seam allowances. So please, if you want a detailed tutorial, I have that on the channel. The link would be in the description box so that we don't waste too much time. So I'll just go ahead and cut out this princess Dart pattern. Please, if you have issues with princess Dart Bustier, I plead with you, I beg you to please see that video. It's going to clear every problem, every doubt, every question that you have on princess Dart Bustier. I promise you. And if you have any questions in the comment section of that particular video, please drop your questions and I'll be there to answer to all of them. Okay, so that this video doesn't get too lengthy. So by the time I'm done cutting, this is the side front. Okay, then this other one is the center front. I'll just take out the dart. So please watch that tutorial if you do not know how to watch a princess Dart, if you don't know how to cut a princess Dart Bustier. But if you already do, please join me at this point that you have already cut out your princess Dart Bustier, and this is my center front. Now what I'm going to do is to transfer this to my lace fabric. So for the back, I've drafted my basic bodice for the back. The neck width for the back is the same as the front, which is 3 inches, and the neck depth is 1 inch. Okay, 3 inches neck width and 1 inch neck depth. I've drafted my armhole, taking my body measurements, marked out my dart, and took my half inch on the 2 sides of the dart line. Now you can make this into a princess Dart Bustier, or you can still leave it as it is. Okay, it doesn't really matter, but I want to make mine a princess Dart at the back. Now it wouldn't be a princess Dart Bustier at the back right now because there is no bust at the back. Now for the lower part, I stepped up by 1.5 inches from the zipper area so that I would reduce back bulge or zipper bulge at the back of my dress. So I stepped up by 1.5 inches, then slanted it to my body measurements. Okay, now so I want to transform this into a princess Dart. So I'm just going to measure around my armhole. You can come down by 6 inches and connect, but I like to connect it to half of my armhole measurement. So you can see half of my armhole measurement is here. Okay, it helped me to draft my armhole. So from that point, I'm just going to connect to the bust point. I marked the bust point at the back. Okay, I marked from the shoulder to the chest line, shoulder to bust point, and shoulder to half length. Right, so from the bust point, I'll just connect it to half of my armhole line like so. Now by the time I cut out this dart, I'll need half inch on the 2 sides to couple the darts together, so that will be 1 inch. So I'll step up by 1 inch. Okay, extending the dart around this princess Dart area by 1 inch, just like so. Okay, so that when you cut out, you're not going to have a shortage. So that way I'll go out and redraft my armhole. So this would be my new armhole. So this is basically how you cut a princess Dart at the back of your bodice, right? So you can now go ahead and cut this out. Now at this area, you have to blend it properly so that there is no pointiness or sharpness around that area. So this is just it on how to transfer your normal basic bodice pattern to a princess Dart pattern. This is called a classic princess Dart, not a princess Dart Bustier, right? So you can use this method if you want to make a princess Dart for your ready to wear dresses, like office wears, corporate wears, and they don't need a padded, they don't need bustiers, okay, and you want to make a princess, that this method is perfect for it. So now I'll go and cut out the princess that, the classic princess that at the back. Then afterwards I'll go and transfer it to my lace fabric. I'm going to cut exactly what I have here on the lace fabric. So exactly what I have on this pattern, I'm cutting it directly on the lace. I'll go and notch the zipper area and slice open the back, okay, where we are going to insert our zipper. For the lower part of this dress, we have a pencil skirt. So I have drafted my pencil skirt. This is the back. So the length of my lining is shorter than the length of the dress. So the main dress is longer than the lining by at least 9 inches. You can see that. So I've turned the lace with lining, okay, and you can see how neat the finishing is. Okay, so I have a tutorial on how to cut a a pencil skirt. The link to that video would also be in the description box, so that we don't waste too much time. So this is the back pattern of my skirt, of my pencil skirt. Now this is the front pattern, right? So I've cut the lace, the satin, I've turned the sides, I've hemmed the bottom, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so we're going to be attaching it to our princess Dart Bustier when we're done. Right, so I've also gone ahead to transfer my pattern to my lace fabric. So this is the center front. You can see the lining and the lace. So, and this is the side back. You can see I have 2 pieces of lining and my lace. The same thing for the side front. You can see the lace, 2 pieces of lining. So now what you're going to do for me is the side front and the side back. You're going to cut 2 more pieces of lining. Okay, one is the one we already have is interlining for the lace because it's transparent. Then you're going to cut another piece for lining. Okay, so now we're going to work on the satin, okay, on the center front to give the bustier illusion. All right, so I'll go ahead and mark out my cleavage. Now to determine your cleavage or your upper bust, you're going to measure the distance from your bust point to under bust. For me, I have 4 inches, so from the bust point I marked 4 inches upward. So that's my cleavage. That way it will enable me not to expose my client's bust. Now from the shoulder area, I came down by 5.5 inches. Okay, I came down by 5.5 inches. I'll just go and create a straight line along that area. Then from there, I'll come down by 2 inches or use my cleavage as a guideline, or the upper bust. Remember I said step up from your bust point by 4 inches, right? So if I step up by 4 inches, you can see that it gives me the cleavage. So from there, I'll then shape it into a into a sweetheart neckline. You can see. So come down from the shoulder by 5.5. So if you want yours to be deeper, you can make yours to be deeper. But this client does not want to expose her bust, so I had to find out her cleavage using the bust point to under bust method. Right, so go ahead and slant it like so, and you have your sweetheart neckline. Right, so I'll cut it like so. Then this is it. So now this is my lining piece. So I'm going to cut another piece of this, okay, or for the center front, just one more piece. Now for the center back, I'll take out the lace. You can see the lace. I'm not cutting this thing on the lace. The lace is what you have already cut out. You're now going to make the adjustments to the interlining and the lining. I hope you understand. To the satin and the lining you're going to be using. So like for the front, I came down by 5.5. The same thing for the back. I'm coming down by 5.5, and I'm just going to slant it like so. I don't want too much drama at the back, right? Just slant it like so. You can give it any shape that you want. So this works for me at the back. Right, so I'll just go and cut it out. Right, so now that I'm done cutting it out, I'm going to cut 2 more pieces of this, like 1 more piece of this, one for the left and one for the right. You know the back pattern is in 2 pieces, right? So I'll just go ahead and cut 2 more pieces, right? So now this one that I have here is just the interlining for the lace. I'll go ahead and cut the main lining to cover up my work. Do you get? So that is what I have just done. Now I've also cut out my wadding. So what I've done here is to place the interlining on the lace, right? Then placed my wadding on my breast pad, whatever you call it, or whatever you want to use to pad the bust area. So I'm going to go ahead and join this together, leaving at least 1/2 inch at the top for the center front. At the center front area, I'll leave around half inch by the sides. Okay, so just go ahead and join. Then make sure that you leave that half inch at the top. Now I'm done joining. You can see what it looks like. This is my Princess Dart Bustier. You can see. So what I've done is to go ahead and notch the inside and also give it a very good press. Okay, so now that I'm done joining, I can now cut out the excess around the armhole. You can see, so I'm showing you all this process so that you don't think there is no excess. There is. I just trim it out. So you can see I said leave half inch at the upper part. Okay, for on the center front, just leave half inch. So now that I've also joined the lining, you can see the lining, I've also joined it. So I'll match up at the middle point, right side facing right side. So the right side of the interlining is going to face the right side of your lining, and you're just going to pin all through the neckline like so. Remember I said you should leave half inch around that area, so that's the half inch you're going to use to turn the neckline. So you can see that half inch, I'll use it to turn around the neckline. So I'm pinning it all around so that it doesn't move around. You can see. Then I'll go and join. Right, so for the back, I've also joined the back, and I also left my half inch at the top. So you can see here for the center back, I have half inch by the side. You can see towards the zipper area, I have half inch, I left half inch, and towards the other side, I left half inch. I've also joined the lining as well. You can see. So from that half inch, I'll go and pin it all through, then use it to join. You can see, so use it to turn the neckline. So just go and pin it. Do the same thing for the other side. There's half inch here, and there's also half inch at the other side. I don't know why that part did not show. Alright, so you can see that is how I'm just trying to see if you can see the other side. So that's it. So I'm done turning out. You can see what it looks like. So you can see the inside now. This is why it's called an illusion. There is a yoke, but it was not joined. Like it looks like a bustier that has a yoke, but you're not seeing the joining for the yoke. That's how beautiful it is. That's why it's called a bustier illusion. So you can see what the inside looks like. It's very neat. Now for the front, this is it. This is the outside, and this is the inside. I also made sure to use a lining to turn the sides so that I don't have any rough edges. Now what I did was, after turning the neckline with lining, I top stitched on it. So you can see my top stitching both for the front and the back. I made sure to top stitch on it, so you can see how clean this looks. I'm really impressed with how this thing came out. Like, it's very beautiful. So this is it. Now what I'm going to do now is to make sure that I trim out my armhole if I have any excesses. Then I'll go and join the lower part, which is the skirt part, to the upper part. I'll do the same for the front and the back. So the next thing we're going to do is to cut out our sleeve, and that will be in another tutorial. So you're going to watch out for my next tutorial, which is how to draft and cut this exaggerated sleeve. Alright, so now the turtleneck collar, I also have a video on that, so do well to check that on my channel. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.